攻めましょう。
あ、
I solemnly swear that I will not simp Nagulera today.
アキレス腱
What is going on, guys? It is your boy Grave, and today we are going to be talking about episode 5 of Kamen Rider Revice. Holy crap, it's been 5 episodes already, and honestly, just yesterday it feels like I was watching the end of Saber. It is actually going by way too quick for me. But anyway, enough of that, and let's get into this week's episode. Now, the episode starts off with Kadoka reading his demotion paper, because you remember from episode 2, he was actually demoted from captain to squad leader for his dumb shit he pulled on episode 1. In, some anger, he rips up the paper and storms off. It looks like he's opening the buy stamp vaults, and he seems to be taking the lion and calm stamps out. And then he leaves them with this boy in the alley of a street. He returns to the Phoenix base and tells Daiji that Yujiro called them into a meeting. Daiji comments that he hasn't been sleeping well lately. I'm assuming from the past 4 episodes he kind of feels like he's inferior, but Kadoka gives him some suggestions to help, which is kind of weird because I didn't expect Kadoka to show any kind of concern for Daiji. It brings this character into a new light. He does care about his subordinates. Daiji then asks Kadoka if he's suffering the same problem, and he responds with his demotion is hanging over him, so it obviously does bother him. Then comments that he is going to rise through the ranks, on some anime type shit. Back at the bathhouse, Gen the father promotes Iki and the bathhouse, since Iki is now part of Phoenix, that hey, come over to the bathhouse, tell us if you see any dead mans, or if you have just normal problems that he can help you with, and while you're at it, take a bath. So he's obviously kind of milking the fact that Iki is now an official writer. But the people that do come give him problems that don't even relate to dead mans. They're just giving him normal people problems. One kid was asking, Idol's birthday's coming soon, what should I get her for birthday? Stuff like that. After that whole shindig was over, Iki lays down exhausted. Vice saying humans are selfish and all that, and then comments that he should become a ByTuber for an eating channel. I'm assuming ByTubers, they mean a YouTuber in their world. Soon an old man walks in, and he and Sakura try to push him out, say, hey, we're done doing the questions for today. But it turns out the man was actually asking for Gen. We cut to the Phoenix meeting with George saying that the recollection of the buy stamps are going well, all except for 2 that were actually stolen, with Yujiro saying that the culprit is one of their own. Everyone's shocked by this, but George eyes Kadoka, I know it was you, son of a bitch. Back in the bathhouse, Iki, Sakura, and the old man watch a ByTuber by the name of Masao walking into a company said to be a black business, and the old man comments that is his grandson. While walking in the building, Masao gets caught by these guards and uses a lion stamp, which he got from the beginning of the episode, and summons a lion dead man. Daiji and Kadoka, getting wind of this, rush towards the scene, with Iki going out on his own since he was the one that watched the stream and saw it happen. Back at the dead man's hideout, Aguilera asks why Julio and Olteca why they would give a stamp to someone like him. Both of them said that none of them gave a stamp, which confuses Aguilera. Misao walks around the building live streaming himself, and finds the company's president and uses his dead man to threaten him to confess that he does indeed run a black business. Luckily, Iki shows up on time to take on the lion dead man. He transforms And while Vice goes in to start the fight, Iki talks to Masao about his actions, saying that, hey, you doing this crap, your grandpa is going to be real sad. As the grandpa coincidentally walks in the building looking for Masao. Masao then asks, like, who's going to bring justice if he can't? With Iki saying that he'll do the slack for him, and that's why he became a Kamen Rider. And dude, oh my god, the shot they used, that was fucking good. With the light reflecting on his visor, like, that was pretty chef's kiss. Iki then charges into the fight, and him and Vice, easily defeat the Lion Dead Man. Like, he was charged up. Like, he came in, took the axe out of Vice's hand, and just started dual wielding and just kicked his ass. It was pretty fucking brutal. After they defeat the Lion Dead Man, Daiji and Kataka make it to the scene. Like, you're a little bit late, with Daiji commenting that Iki beat them to the Dead Man. Kataka then takes the lion stamp away from Masao, saying they're confiscating this. Like, aren't you the one that gave it to him? Like, what the fuck? You just trying to save face or something? But Iki comes and talks to Masao that the videos he doesn't help anyone. They're just being used as a pastime. Walking away, giving Masao something to think about, with his grandfather coming to him, handing him a manju. I think that's it. Manju? Yeah. Back in the Dead Man's hideout, Aguilera comments that, yeah, this kid got beaten easily. Why did you give him the stamp? With Julio shifting the blame to Oteka, with Oteka still saying it wasn't him, but then comments that Revice is starting to become a problem, with Aguilera agreeing, saying she wants to, like, erase him, wipe him from existence. Oteka suggests that they should go after his Achilles heel, and then he tries to touch Gifu, the statue of Gifu, with Aguilera grabbing his hand and giving him, like, this evil fucking look, saying, like, hey, attacking his Achilles heel, that's a good idea. In the hospital, Sakura tells her mom that she's feeling lost, and then asks her about Masao's actions, that there were good intentions, with the mom saying that no matter how good the intentions are, if you go too far, what's the point? With Sakura asking her, like, what is righteousness? With her mom telling her, don't worry about this stuff, it complicated stuff, and that Sakura's always been this nervous and tense girl, and that she should just not worry about the complicated things. Back in the base, George shows that he's pretty happy that the lion stamp is back, while Yujiro, Kodoka, Daiji, and himself discuss what about the Mythocene stamps. Daiji suggesting that they use Masao as bait to draw in the traitor, the culprit, with Kodoka refusing to, because you're bringing a civilian with this. With, honestly, he's kind of right. Like, why are you bringing a civilian who has no military training into this? But Yujiro agrees with Daiji, saying, hey, we don't have enough time, get it done. With George practicing breaking the culprit's neck when he finds him. He's doing this, like, this motion of snapping someone's neck. Like, he is real into it. He wants to kill this man. In the bathhouse, Kadoka, Daiji, Masao, and Iki, and Gen, the father, discuss the plans to bait out the culprit using Masao. Everyone's in agreement except Iggy. Like, he has the only, like, common sense. Like, why are you bringing him into this? This guy's a civilian. But Daiji tells him, hey, there's honestly no other way. We don't have an option. George comes out and scares Daiji, which making Daiji draw his gun and point it at George, like, oh my god, dude, you're about to shoot this man. Of course, Kadaka yells at Daiji, and he comments that he's too stuck up, he's too on edge. He's like, I need to be. Dude, this is a job, people are getting hurt, you're too laid back. Sakura comes in and tells him, hey, the lobby's free, you guys are free to talk there. And she looks a little deep in thought, a little sad, like, from the conversation, I'm assuming. she'd had with her mom, like, what is righteousness? What is good intentions? As they walk into the lobby, George gives Iki the lion stamp and says to use it on your next mission, hands him the stamp, and then backs out into the baths. Iki reluctantly agrees and asks to be positioned close to Masao in case they are attacked. Daiji, given an attitude, asks, like, are you hogging the spotlight again? Which caused an argument between Iki and Daiji, with their dad commenting, haven't you guys made up already? You see Kaudaka just, like, eyeballing the lion stamp. I honestly do feel that he is the culprit. We then see Daiji in the bathhouse, washing his face in the baths, with George staring at him, like, showing interest. Like, this guy might be potential. With a fucking rubber chicken coming out of the water. Like, oh my god, dude, you don't know what you're doing with this, Toei. Oh my god. The next day at a warehouse, Masao streams himself apologizing and say he is going to destroy the stamp, with Iki hiding behind barrels and Deadman making their move to take the stamp back, and Phoenix taking their positions. Some Phoenix soldiers ask Kadoka if he's alright, that he looks a bit tense, with him turning his gun at them. And I honestly, throughout this episode, I can't really say I'm shocked. He had some major, like, vibes, like villain vibes, like, yeah, he has to be the traitor, especially now that he's pulling the gun on his own team. Masao prepares to smash the stamp, and as he lifts up his hammer, Julio and Oteka barge in, scaring Masao, dropping the stamp. Oteka takes the stamp. Iki walks out and then reveals that the stamp is fake, and in anger, Oteka and Julio transform and summon their Deadman Juniors, prompting Iki and Vice to transform themselves, easily defeating the Juniors, and then going on to take on Julio and Oteka. Now, during their fight, it seems like they are doing well, holding up their own, but it's obvious that the Oteka and Julio have the upper hand, and force Iki to use the lion stamp. Now, the lion form, I actually like this one the most. Like, it looks pretty good. And this is actually in reference to Kamen Rider Kuga, the first Heisei Rider, mind you. We actually talked about him during the first episode review. Now, they fight Oteka and Julio using their lion form, and they have, like, these fire strikes. It actually looks pretty cool. The effects are very nice. With Iki using the lion remix to turn to a lion. Now, oh my god, this is actually the best looking lion form, or the remix form, I have ever seen so far in this season. Now, it looks better than the Rex form, it looks better than definitely the eagle form, and honestly, it does look better than the mammoth. And with the lion form, they easily defeat Oteka. With that, they transform back into their Rex form to take on Julio. But soon another rider comes in from behind, like, unexpected, like, you don't see this coming. And you see that the Phoenix soldiers are knocked unconscious. They were knocked unconscious, I'm assuming because of Kodeka. Julio and Oteka comment that this must be the perpetrator, and honestly take their leads, like, hey, he's gonna defeat him for us, this should be fun. And they try to fight the new rider, but Vice is easily defeated. And honestly, that's how the episode ends, with a fucking cliffhanger, with Vice getting defeated. Now, this episode was really, really straightforward. Like, there were a few downtimes, but I'm really liking this season, how they are just giving us the plot points, like, no unnecessary filler. Like, there's like some, like, with Misao, the Bi-Tubers, all that, but they are just hammering in plot point after plot point, and I really enjoy this. Now, who this new evil writer is, I'm honestly thinking it might be Kodeka. Like, he's pissed that he got demoted, and now he's trying to get back at Phoenix. for what they did to him. Now, that's just my opinion. It might be something completely different, but that is my 2 cents right now. Anyway, this has been a good episode, and honestly, I'm a little peeved that they stopped it at a cliffhanger. We'll just have to see the next episode to see how this new writer stands up to Vice and Iki. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, any likes, comments, shares is always greatly appreciated. If you like what you saw, please subscribe, and I will see you guys next week. Take care.